Hey guys, and welcome to SpaceChem. This is a relatively recent indie game. It came out, maybe a month or two ago, but recently came out on Steam. And full disclosure, should probably admit this before I really start into the video. I am pretty much in love with this game, and as someone who's not normally engrossed or addicted to puzzle-type games, that comes as a really strong recommendation. This is easily one of the best games I've played so far this year. What it is not is easy to wrap your head around, so consider this as much of a quick look or first impressions type video as it is a tutorial on how to play SpaceChem and what to expect as you do it. Because, like I mentioned, it's really novel. It's something that I've never seen this type of gameplay before. So the crux of the game, or what we want to do, is drop these fluorine atoms, you can see from the top right. Our desired atom is fluorine, into this output zone right here, and if we get 10 of those, then we've succeeded. And the way we do this is by creating loops. So by using these commands down here at the bottom, we need to create a loop which generates fluorine atoms and then drops them here. So first thing you might want to learn is that you can use the WASD keys and click your mouse on a square to create a directional for your loop. So here we're going to just create directions that sends our red loop back to the beginning. And this red divided circle here is our Waldo, so if we hit play, we see that the Waldo is what moves along the line that we've created. And this is what's going to, generate the direction to push our fluorine molecules and manipulate our fluorine molecules as we choose. And this will continue ad infinitum if we so choose, so let's stop that. Now, you might be thinking, how do we get fluorine in the first place? I don't see any of that on this map. Well, what we do is put this little input alpha here, and when we put input alpha, this will cause this F2 molecule, as you can see in our input zone here, to be generated on this corner of our loop. So if we just play that, we can see how that happens. So what we need to do is pick that up, and then obviously we need to split it in half, because we can't deposit F2 into this output zone. It has to be F1, and then repeat the procedure until we get 10 of them. So how are we going to do that? Let's start by putting a grab orb here, and if you right click it, you can set it to grab, and if we play through that quickly, you can see we can now pick up the fluorine molecule, but there's a reaction error, obviously, because we're not dropping them off. This is an error due to collision, as we can't have two molecules or two atoms collide at any point during the experiment, or the reaction becomes unstable and stops. So what we're going to need to do is obviously drop this fluorine molecule in here. But of course, first we have to split it. So let's introduce these battery looking things here. These are bonders. And what a bonder does is it adds or removes bonds from atoms. So if you have a molecule, you can add more atoms to it and create an even bigger molecule, or you can break bonds and turn molecules into atoms. And I'm using a lot of kind of scientific or pseudo-scientific terminology right here. You don't need to have any previous existing knowledge of chemistry to play this game. The game walks you through it nicely, and it's not like a school lesson or anything, so don't sweat that. It is very logical, though. The game is very logical. So with this bonder, we want to break a bond. So we're going to put a bonder here, a bond orb, I should say, and then set it to bond negative. And now, when our molecule passes through, it will break the bond. But this will cause an error, and you'll see why in a second. So if we just let it go, we pick up the fluorine, goes through here, and the bond breaks there, but there's an error because there's a collision. This is because, let's see if I can get a good pause on it so you can see what happens. I might not have the quick reflexes necessary. But if you look here, basically the bond is going to break, but then the Waldo is attached to this first fluorine. So this one's going to keep moving to the right along our loop, but this one is going to stop moving completely, which is going to cause a collision and thus a reaction error, as you can see. So we need some way to avoid that, and the way that we're going to do that is by throwing a little bit of a rotation in here. So by rotating this the other way, I think, we should be able to create a situation where we avoid a collision and kind of move on from where we were. Although actually we rotated it the wrong way, I think. Let's change this to this side and then see what happens. As long as those two fluorine molecules are touching the bonding zones, they'll break. Yes, as you can see. So this avoids a collision, but you cannot have this run infinitely because there will be another collision right here. So I apologize if I'm going too slowly for some of you geniuses out there, but what I'm trying to do is walk you through procedurally so you can really see the steps that you have to take in order to have a successful run in SpaceChem. So we're going to put a drop here, and what this drop will do is drop that fluorine molecule, so we'll avoid a collision at the input zone when we come around for our second pass. So the bond breaks, you can see the fluorine molecule fluorine atom comes in, is dropped in the output zone, and then we can pick up another fluorine molecule and start the process again. But again, there's going to be another collision. So this is where we're going to start to get this blue Waldo involved. So with this Waldo, we're going to hit tab first, and this will allow us to make blue commands. We're going to direct it up here. Yes, this looks good to me. And into the other bonding site where that other fluorine atom will be. And then we're going to put a grab command in here. And then redirect our loop thusly. Maybe like, yeah, this looks good to me. So what's going to happen now, and well, let's not forget to put a drop in there as well. And I'm hoping this won't cause any significant errors, but we'll see. There's still going to be a problem at some point, but I'm hoping it's a problem that I'm foreseeing. So we can see that the blue molecule is coming through a little bit faster than the red one. We'll fix that on our next pass. But anyway, it looks so far so good. We're obviously collecting a little bit of fluorine here. But we're going to have an error when we come through to this part. There's going to be a collision inside of the output zone. This is very easily mitigated. What we're going to do is hit tab to switch back to red commands, and then we're going to put an output clear here. So right after we drop that fluorine, it's going to clear the output zone and kind of collect that fluorine for us. So you can see this in action. Let's play it a little bit faster because we know the mechanics of it now. See, we drop it and then we clear it and we collect one fluorine. And actually, this might be a successful run. Oh no, there's a collision. Alright, that was actually what I was hoping was going to happen, so I could show you. What we want is a second output command, output clearing command, because sometimes the red and blue are going to be in sync and actually have a collision with each other. So we're just going to put another one about on the other side of the loop, about halfway through. And if we play through this fast, this actually might be a winning solution for us. And if it is, I'll end the quick look, and I'll end it with a hearty recommendation for you to pick up this game. Let's put it that way. Now available on Steam, well worth whatever they're charging for it. I've really never played another game that was similar to this. And you can see all seems to be going pretty well so far. This isn't the best loop I've ever created. It looks a little bit messy, but seems to be doing the trick. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this Let's Look at of SpaceChem. I strongly encourage you to pick it up. It's a great time. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.